Hey everyone, my name's Cara, and I'm going to tell you about my 9 Moons course today. I talked about this last year when I originally launched it, but that round of the course didn't happen because I didn't get enough signups, and part of this is having a small group to work with. So we're trying it again this year. I am recording this in 2026, but most of this information is gonna remain the same from year to year. So my goal is to do this video in such a way that it can serve into the future for any time that I do this course. This will still apply. So this is the page on my website that is for the 9 Moons course. This is the header that is up on the top of every page. Right now I have it advertising the course, but another time that you visit my website, it could be something else. This is caramiawitch.com. And if you were to navigate here just from the homepage, you would go under offerings and then down under classes and workshops and go to 9 Moons. And I've also, as of recording this just yesterday, I just added and made public this new page about book groups. So I'll make another video about that another time, but we're at the 9 Moons page here. You can also find a lot of information on stuff that I'm currently letting people know about on the links page if you just want kind of a quick view to find things. But I have gone through and recently updated a bunch of stuff all across this website. All of these pages have been updated in August of 2026. I update it monthly, but I just did kind of a big overhaul when I was getting ready for this. So anyway, to get into the course, I designed this course last year, and the sort of tagline that I came up with for it is 9 Moons, meeting the moon where you are in the moment. And for this round, it's going to be the September equinox to the December solstice 2026, but that will be different times, different years. I may not be able to do it every year depending on what other teaching, classes, things like that I have going on. But as you can see here, 9 Moons is a 3-month supported video course to help you adapt your magic to the moment when you actually need it, and more importantly, will actually do it. So this is me. My name's Cara. I'm not going to read to you this entire page. There will be a link in the description. You can read through it all yourself, but I want to give you a bit of a tour and tell you a bit about it. So you get an overview here right up front. I don't want people having to dig for how much is this going to cost. I know how that feels to be going through so much material before you're given this information. So this information is here right at the top. This is currently what this is priced at. I don't know that it won't change in the future, but as of the time that I'm recording this for this first time that I'm offering the course, well, second time I'm offering it, but hopefully the first time it'll actually get to happen with a group of people. This is what's going on here, and there is scholarship available, sliding scale, and there's so much more explanation about that further down. But if you knew about this course already, you're one of the people who's already written to me to let me know you're interested. If you don't need to go through the whole page again because you read it last year, most of it is the same. You can go ahead and register right away. Say no more. I'm ready to go. But then if you want to keep going, this is kind of the inspiration for the course right here. The right time for your magic is exactly when you do it. So here's the scenario. What do you do when the best moon phase that you can think of to do your magic under was last week, and now you have to wait 3 weeks for it to come around again? Ooh, but wait, if I wait until next month, it'll be in an even better sign. But is that too late? Hold on a second. I know this pattern, and I know what comes next. I really should have done this 3 months ago, or last Tuesday. There's no point doing it now. If this has ever been you, we are kindred spirits. This is me all over, but thankfully over the years, I've learned how to interrupt this spiral and get the magic going, not just when I actually need it, but also when I will actually do it. So this is the direct inspiration for creating this course. 9 Moons was made for you if you love connecting your magic with the moon, and sometimes you feel pressured to do it right and get overwhelmed. You have a busy or unpredictable schedule. Your energy fluctuates, so you can't always do things at a pre-planned time. Setting intentions is a point of confusion or overwhelm. Or you're more likely to postpone something to wait for a better time, only to never actually go back and get it done. Yeah. Ask me how I know, right? So, as I've written here, this might apply to any number of witches, pagans, or other people in this magical realm, But I also expect that this resonates for those, diagnosed or not, with ADHD or other neurodivergence, executive function struggles, non-traditional or just really hectic schedules, and folks with chronic conditions that determine your energy and abilities in very real ways that disrupt the practice you'd love to have. I'm going to censor this as far as what I'm saying out loud just because YouTube, just in case, but it is different on the page. This is not about ignoring any of the currents of energy going around us. It's about learning what they are so you can step into that flow and meet it where it is at any time and flow with it, instead of pushing against those currents. So, this course was also designed with you in mind if you have a decent grasp on your own spellcraft, but you want to know how to adapt it to different times and situations. Doing whatever the books or websites say feels impersonal and you want to develop a more personal connection with the moon cycles for your lifestyle. Or you just want to hang out with a small group of other moon-loving spellcrafters. So there's a little bit about me and the fact that I am neurodivergent, I have executive dysfunction issues, I am an incredible procrastinator, which is why I have had to learn some of these magical accommodations for myself. There are still times that I just can't bring myself to make something work, but now it's not because I'm lost on how, it's just like, sometimes you still just don't. But there's a difference between not doing it because you wouldn't even know how, and knowing how but life, right? So this is going to be about showing you how. What's actually in the course is a series of videos that you will watch on your own time, one of which, as it says down here, is going to be based on the group's real-time questions. I am doing that for this first round. I don't know that I will continue to do that every time, though I might. We'll see if that remains part of this course into the future. But there are 9 videos over a 3-month span of time. There's also a private community space so we can be chatting throughout. You can ask questions and get more direct support from me, inspiration from the others, hopefully as well. That's why this is also a group container. And there will be lots of other additional resources as well. And so this is more about one of the videos being based on real-time questions from the group. I'm doing that because this is the first time I'm running it, and it's all about being flexible and adaptable. So I want to know what questions the people who are signing up for this course actually have, so that if they're not something that I've already thought about, I want to make sure that I can cover that. So we've got another opportunity there to sign up if you're ready. Here's a little bit more about me, just in case somebody's finding this page without knowing me yet. There's a bit of my story and a little picture of me teaching at an event years ago. There's more of the story and how I ended up making videos on YouTube and then presenting workshops and classes. And if you want to read even more about me, you can go to my About page, which is up here as well with the star in the top menu bar of my website. Then we have a little thing that's also on my homepage or somewhere else where I talk about my witchcraft and my feminism being intersectional. This is important to know about my perspective and something that I strive for, and it is something that my tradition, the reclaiming tradition of witchcraft, is also very much about centering these types of values. So this was originally a post on my Instagram. It links to that original post as well if you want to share it on your Instagram, and there's different versions of it with different fonts because different fonts are more visually accessible for different people. There's also a version that says our witchcraft and our feminism, so you could share it on behalf of a group or a plural system. I have used the one here that says my witchcraft because it's my website, so I'm just talking about me in that case. We have a little review of the details here. 9 videos over the course of 3 months. You'll watch on your own time. You can even watch part of it, pause, and then watch the rest of it another time. They will be hosted in YouTube, so YouTube has that progress bar feature where it will save your progress. And then you can chat with me and others in the group in our private space. So the videos are going to be focusing on different sections of the lunar cycle and our energy cycles. No scheduled live calls for this. We will go over the ideal associations so that you have some resources. So someone who is newer to doing all of this type of stuff, magical timing, spellcraft, I'll make sure that you have those basic resources for sure. And we'll talk about those ideals, kind of in the spirit of you have to learn the rules before you break them, so to speak. Not that they're exactly rules that we're breaking, but just to use that metaphor. We'll go over those things, but we will be focusing on adapting our practices for more flexibility. That is actually the point of this. And we will be integrating what we're learning through ritual and practice because witchcraft is experiential. So I'm going to make sure that I am mixing in not only lecturing you and sharing information and having you take notes, but things that you will actually be doing, practices. I will be guiding you through things. There will be ritual, there will be trance, there will be other suggested exercises that you could choose to incorporate into your life every day, or things that you might just do along with me during that video, practice for those 3 months and talk about it in the group space about how that's going for you. But this is not just a presentational lecture type thing. I am really going to be incorporating a lot of what I've learned through reclaiming teaching in how I present these things. There's a little bit about Discord if you're not familiar with that platform yet. I'm an administrator of a lot of different servers that are used for various reclaiming communities right now. So it's really the best place for regular check-ins with me. I also have a private server that is for my monthly supporters. If you support me through Patreon or Ko-fi, you get access to the Woodland, which is my supporters server. And so in addition to the videos being shared, there will also be journal prompts, tarot spreads, other resources, a bunch of things will be going on in there, as well as the actual discussions. And then again with the timeline, this time around, it is from the September equinox to the December solstice, but it is 3 successive months. In this case, it's about 13 weeks instead of just 12. Because I'm going equinox to solstice. But it is a multiple month-long container, so there's more time here, more space to go at your own pace, but also more time to actually practice those things and begin to integrate them. My plan is to share 3 videos at a time at the start of each month so that you have them and you can either watch them all up front or space them out over the course of that time, or you can watch them all once and then watch them all again multiple times throughout that month. It's up to you how you engage with them, but the discussion in the space will focus on the 3 for that month. And then as we move forward, it'll build. So if you're running a little bit behind, that's okay too. People might be talking about something that you haven't gotten to yet, but you're very welcome to, in the middle of month 2, mention something that came up for you in some of the content from month 1, because as you are incorporating it into your life, you may not have things to say about it until you've been doing it for a few weeks. So it's up to you how you engage with them as we go. There are some lovely quotes here that I have on this page and on another page on my website from some lovely people who I know through reclaiming or just some other YouTube witches who I know. And then we have some frequently asked questions. Do I need to know about blank before doing this course? And you can click these to expand. I love this feature. It makes me feel like I have my own Wikipedia. So do I need to know about astrology? Do I need to already know about magic and spellcraft? I talk a little bit about that. You do not need to know a ton about any of these things already. These videos will not be teaching basics of witchcraft directly, but I will be bearing in mind that some people who are going to sign up for this might be a lot newer to these things. So I do tend to explain things as I'm doing them, and like I said, I'm going to be guiding you through some things. But there will be other places where I'll say, for example, this next frequently asked question is, what if I'm not a beginner? There will be times where I might say, okay, I want you to do some kind of grounding. Do whatever grounding you like to do. So there will be times where I ask you to lean on what you already have as part of your practice. And if people don't have any sort of grounding that they already know how to do, then we'll talk about that. But yeah, so you don't need to be a beginner either. I do expect a range of experience levels joining this. You're always welcome to default to something that is tried and true for the way that you do something, but I hope that anybody who would be signing up for this course to learn something from me and with me would be open to trying new ways. So there's a bit of both here. I do think that more quote-unquote advanced practitioners know that, but just in case anybody's wondering about it, I wrote a little bit about it here. Why 9 moons? Why no live calls? Benefits of asynchronous communication. It's more open to people in different time zones or people who just have really weird schedules like me. And there is the option for video or voice calls if people happen to be online at the same time and want to chat that way, but that is not a requirement for participation in this. A little bit about why I decided to do this now. In this case, I originally planned it last year, but still now. There's some stuff about the benefits of working in community and having a space for engaging with people on these topics. So I also wrote a bit about what if I don't want to work with a group, and I recently posted a video kind of talking about this in July of 2026, and I link that video in here. that just talks a little bit about that balance between solitary and group work, that we're not doing absolutely everything together. You're still doing things on your own. It is a video course. You're watching them on your own time. You're doing the practices yourself, but then you're engaging with other people in this sort of community light online type of way. How big is the group for this course? My ideal size is 6 to 8 participants plus myself. I'd love to have a minimum of 4 to be able to run the course, and I would not want to do this with any more than 12 people at a time. So that would be the range, but the ideal is right there in the middle, and it'll depend on how many people sign up. But that'll give you kind of an idea. So if anybody is nervous about, like, I don't know if I want to do something with 20 people, I very rarely teach any classes, even in reclaiming, that end up having 20 people in them. That's not true for every reclaiming community. 20 and above is common in some places, but in my experience, in my area, the classes that I've taught, they average 7 to 8 people. So this is around kind of the groups that I'm used to working with, just to give you a sense of that. And then we've got more info about the money stuff, more explanation of the sliding scale, and a little note about currency conversion as well. Because there is a sliding scale, that can also help with conversion. Because if your currency conversion would make it a lot more expensive in your currency, I encourage you to look at what would actually make sense in your currency. And if that translates to somewhere on my scale, great. So it might be lower on the USD scale, but higher if you look at that number in your own currency. There's also the option to reach out for payment plans and work out something else with me too. So I'm not showing you all of the text for all of these things because I might be updating them in the future and I don't want all of it to be in a video, but you can go and check out what is there right now live on the website. So again, a little recap. With this course, you can look forward to a series of videos, not live calls, that you can watch on your own time, chatting with others in our private community space, asking questions and getting support from me throughout. A 3-month magical container for active community. I want there to be active participation during this 3-month period. After that, you could never talk to me again. I hope that you do, but you're not required to be, super engaged forever, just for the duration of the class. And there will be additional resources shared in that community space. And I'm looking forward to geeking out about the moon and all of her phases and our phases, sharing photos and resources and rituals, helping you workshop some intentions for your personal magic, holding space for magic in online community, which is so important for accessibility and something that I have been doing a lot in recent years. So I'm very happy to bring that skill set and offering to my audience that has been here for so long, and getting to know a small group of folks in a more closely held container. To me, that is one of the most fun parts of doing work like this. When I do videos online, I only get to hear from people if they leave a comment. But when I do classes, I get to know people a little bit more. I get to hear a lot more from you in return, and that helps me do better at what I'm teaching as well, because I'm able to answer those questions as they come up. I'm able to help people adapt things to their unique situation. There's so many ways to teach just about anything there is that we do in witchcraft. And the easiest way to find out what someone needs is for them to be present in the space and talking about it. So this is, again, the timeline for the current round. And then if you're ready, there's the sign up at the bottom as well. It goes into the footer of my website. So you can see here, last updated August 2026. So if we go to the sign me up, please, we go to that registration page. This is what you see currently. There are one-time or monthly payment options. One-time single payment options are as listings in my Ko-fi shop. And these links will take you right there, either these links here or the ones under the pictures. So if we click and go to my Ko-fi shop, this is what we have here for the sliding scale. This also links back to the class page. Just in case someone is visiting my Ko-fi shop first and doesn't know about the class, it links back to it there. This is also where you can get readings from me, by the way, year card readings or a general reading. There might be some other things in here in the future, but for right now, that's what's there. And it says here as well, but it's also on the website, for monthly payment plan options, reach out to me. So the listings in the shop are for a one-time pay up front situation. Some people like to do things that way. For some people, that makes more sense for their situation and planning. So I want to make sure that I have that option. But I do expect that a lot of people are going to want the monthly option, and there's info for how to do that. I don't want to show the email address in this video because I already get enough spam. Please do not spam me. I will block you. And then you'll never be able to sign up for stuff because I will have blocked you. So please do not do that. If you are truly interested, I expect that you will go through and click through the links and do the thing. But what you'll do is you'll reach out via email to let me know that you want to arrange a monthly payment. And we can do 3 months or 4 months. We can spread it out a little bit more for you. And depending on where you slide on that scale, we can do different amounts. But as an example, within my given sliding scale range, that would look like if you were doing 3 months, it could be 90 up to 120 USD per month for 3 months. Or if we spread it out over 4, a little bit less, you know. So then, the next steps to expect would be if you use Ko-fi to pay, you are automatically redirected to the registration form. If you arrange with me through email, I will then give you the link as we figure that out. The form asks some basic information, name, pronouns, a little bit about why you're taking this course. There's also some helpful info about Discord right there in the form for people who are not used to it, so you'll get more information right there when signing up. Discord access will open shortly before the course starts, so you'll have a little bit of time to come in, familiarize yourself with the space, say hi to people, we can just chat. That's when I'm going to ask a little bit more, kind of check in, get to know each other type things. And just a note here, if you are in the Woodland server, which is the one for my monthly supporters, this course will be taking place in a different server. It is also a private server, but it is a different one. And then down here at the bottom of the registration page, it again repeats the timeline. For this one, it says registration opens about a month before we begin, the week of August 24th, but it is open now. I'm recording this on August 13th. I made the page live in the wee hours of this morning, basically, because it was really late last night for me. So registration is actually open a little bit earlier than I said here, so a little bit more than a month. But that's why I said about 1 month before, because could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less sometimes, but registration is open. The Discord will open a little bit before we start, and then the course actually starts the week of the equinox this year, which would be September 22nd. In my time zone, but it's a different day on different time zones sometimes, but that week, the week of the September equinox. So that's that, and if we go to my homepage here, scroll down just a little ways, there's also a banner here about 9 Moons registration being open that links you right to it. You can sign up for my email updates right from my homepage and a bunch of other places as well. There's a little feature from each of my channels here. I recently updated this to episode 1 of my Barrow Hill 1 playthrough, and then there's a link to the entire playlist because it won't let me embed the playlist, unfortunately. So I put a link here to the full playlist of me playing Barrow Hill 1 and 2. It's one of my favorite pagan-themed point-and-click adventure games. I played the original game many, many times, but I just played the sequel for the first time over the past year or so. So I have the videos of me playing through both of those games all together in this playlist. If you haven't checked out my second channel yet where I've been playing games, I highly recommend checking out that playlist. Right now I'm playing a couple of other games and alternating them over there, but they're always games that have kind of witchy, pagan, magical, or occult themes. So it is connected to my interests. I also updated this section about joining the Woodland server just a little bit. I just updated this part here where there's the 2 buttons for Patreon and Ko-fi. It used to just say join on Patreon, join on Ko-fi, and then I had this idea to make it a little bit more thematic to the Woodland. So now it says there are 2 paths to enter the Woodland, which will you choose? And I named them sort of after the types of trail names that you see at various parks. So we've got Patreon Trail and Ko-fi Run, which, yes, is supposed to also be a reference to Coffee Run. So I think I'm funny. Come hang out with me if you agree. Yeah, there's more info about that there. And there's some various pictures and quotes throughout the website. This is one of me at Glastonbury Tour in 2012. And something that I say a lot, magic is about creating change. If you don't want change, you don't do magic. So if you are interested in working on that type of stuff with me and another group of witches at the end of this calendar year or another time in the future when I might be offering this course again, I hope that you will consider signing up. And as I mentioned, there will also be more info coming out about these book book groups that are something else that I also do. So I started this page. There is some stuff on there now, just very basic information, but nothing is exactly scheduled yet or anything. So there will be much more info there. And then here on my links page, there is another spot to quickly find my channels, sign up for the course, get a reading, sign up for my emails, join the woodland, find my other content other places, and some info about the other reclaiming projects that I am the content editor for, and other ways that you can support me by supporting those projects. That is also at the bottom of my links page. So thank you very much for watching and or listening along to this video. I will see you next time. And until then, don't forget to be awesome, blessed be, and goodbye.